I was halfway through making a video about what I consider to be the #1 enemy of your sealed collection. Humidity, moisture, warp, that slow silent cardboard decay. And then a Pokemon YouTuber in the UK got robbed. House ransacked, high volume items targeted, a clean job, an inside job. And then it hit me like a PSA surcharge. Humidity is not your biggest threat. Unfortunately, the biggest threat to your sealed collection and storing it correctly is other people. And I'm not talking about kids or family members that might damage your collection or move things around. I'm talking about family, friends, other people you talk to, strangers, thieves. Someone is betraying you and putting you at risk of having your collection stolen. Look, humidity ruins cards, but thieves, they can delete collections. If you lose some modern sealed, you're bummed out. Hopefully you have insurance that helps cover it. We live in the world, and the world is not always rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes it's just miserable. There are awful people. They're going to steal from you. But if you lose grails, if you lose a personal collection card that you just cannot replace, there's no ability to get that back. It's just gone. So whether you're stacking sealed, slabs, promos, whatever you're stacking, security is not optional. It's part of the hobby. Part of protecting your collection is not about top loaders. It's not about dehumidifiers. So they are very important, particularly if you live in tropical Australia like I do. It's about protecting your cards, unfortunately, from other people. So here are, not rules, but just general guidelines that I think I need to follow and I think other people should follow as well. Rule #1, guideline #1, stop telling everyone what you have. Flex culture is fun, until it isn't. Every time you post, I just picked up a 5K grail, you're broadcasting inventory. You just don't know who's watching. You don't know who screenshots. You don't know who lives nearby. Even if you're just posting it on your own social media, but particularly if you are a streamer, a YouTuber, or anything in between, you gotta be really, really smart. Delay posts, blur backgrounds, mystery is your friend. They don't need to know everything that you have, particularly if you're a Pokemon investor, if there is such a thing. Guideline #2, don't store irreplaceables like bulk. That's a bit flippant, but all the cards that we have in front of me right now, including, Junk Slab and also some pretty cool stuff, to be honest. Like, I literally love this card. I was going to make a video on it because it's one of the only 2 cards in all of Pokemon that is hollow on the back. The other one is the Ancient Mew. Very nice card. But you should really be careful where you store your truly high valuable items. 1, out of sight and don't tell anyone where they are. And 2, probably not best to store them with all the rest of your stuff. It needs to be secure. You're playing defense with paper armor unless you put them into actual secure storage. And that can be a secure storage at your house or someone else's house. It doesn't need to be something that you pay for, but you really need to think of maybe getting a quality safe that's bolted down, a hidden placement, or separate storage locations. Split up your collection into different little bits. And here's the most beautiful phrase in collecting. The best place for it to be stored when someone comes looking for it is somewhere else. Bank vault is a little bit full on, but I know some people that actually need to. That's how big their collections are. Safety deposit, again, pretty full on, but some people need to do it. Trusted off-site storage, either commercial or not. In Australia, there isn't much climate-controlled trusted off-site storage that doesn't come at a truly absurd price point. So if you are in Australia, and most of the US as well, to be honest, you're probably not going to want to splurge on off-site storage unless you absolutely have to, just because of the humidity, the climate control element. But as long as it's secured and insured, you can do that. What's even better is if you have family, you have friends, people that you truly, truly trust. That's a little bit of a tricky one. Usually if they don't know much about the hobby, or if they have a direct financial investment in you doing well, think for many of us parents, for other people, siblings, or a very close friend, just get them to store a little bit of it in a safe, secure cupboard. If they have the space, put it there instead, and then don't tell anyone where it is. Rule #3, or guideline #3, is protect your location. Just don't tell people where you're at, whether you're vending, selling on Facebook Marketplace, selling on eBay. Don't deliberately dox yourself. Like, you can use a PO box if you want to pay for one. You can use, in Australia, there's collect parcels. You can get a return address that goes to the post office instead of directly to you. And there's ways to do that for free. There's ways to do that for cheap. And it's absolutely worth it just to get your details away from packages. If you're sending something that's cheap and you're willing to write off the loss, don't put a return address on and they will just destroy it. But if you put a phone number on instead, they'll still get in contact with you and find out where to return it. Though if you're in a country like Australia, Australia Post is actually pretty good. And anyone that lives in Australia will probably be really pissed off at me saying that because their experience personally with Australia Post is probably not brilliant. But in the US to an extent, and in Australia and in the UK to an extent where they're not having crisis, the postal service is pretty good. 99.99% of the parcels get where they're going. So if you don't have a return address, it's really not the end of the world. Don't put shipping labels visible on camera as well. If you are someone who is going to stream or whatnot, if you are going to go on YouTube, if you're going to post to your Instagram, it's like when you go to a concert, don't post a photo of the tickets. Some bozo is going to get access to it unless your account is locked down, and then you won't be going to day 2 of Coachella. You will be sitting at home because your ticket's already been redeemed. Same is true with packages. If you're opening a package and you're excited to show people, just don't put it into a live ever. It sounds paranoid, but it isn't. This is the reality of this hobby, because a lot of this hobby is worth a lot of money. Probably not these munted trainers. Probably not that Babadook slab or that PSA 4. But there is a lot of valuable stuff out there. And you really, really, really need to take care in not broadcasting it too much. A guideline number 4 would be lock down all of your apps, all your social media and records. And that includes one of my favorite things, not sponsored, Collector. I use Collector, I like Collector, but I would not give you access to my Collector. I would give you access to little parts of my Collector if you ask nicely, but the overall picture, there's just no need for anyone else to know, unless they're your accountant or, I don't know, you're literally married to them, how much you have, what you have, where you have it, all of these things. You can just keep them quiet. You don't need to broadcast to the world. You don't need to say, I have $100,000 worth of Evolving Skies. I don't, by the way, wish I did. Don't publicly share. If someone can map your collection from your online footprint, you've already given away too much. So that was a lot of rambling, basically, and sorry for the bit of a rant, but it's really just hitting me because there's so many trading card stores that have been robbed. So many influencers have been robbed. And I know some people that have been robbed just from sending things on Facebook Marketplace. That's absurd. But that is where we're at now, because it's the only way they can figure out that anyone even knew that they had stuff is because they were yapping after someone bought something from them. But they're sold to hundreds of people, so they can't actually map down who it is. Humidity was supposed to be the point of this video because it bends cards, it bends hollows. Yes, control your moisture. Yes, back to moisture. Get rid of all your moisture. Make sure you have a dehumidifying thing. Use climate control. But realistically, you need to control your exposure and just basically don't tell people what you have. That's the real endgame boss of sealed collecting, is curiosity from the wrong human. You don't want the wrong person looking. You don't want them to come knocking. You don't want them to kick down your door, and you don't want them to know when you're on holiday. Stay safe, stay sealed, stay smart.